As you might recall, this year we participated in the Heart of the Shepherd program, and the beneficiary of the support of the Heart of the Shepherd was not only the priest's retirement, not only continuing helping newly ordained priests in terms of their college debt, not only them helping to renovate the seminary campus that hadn't been touched in 75 years, but also our beneficiary was our parish endowment fund. And so these scholarships are paid out of the parish endowment fund. So your support, plus the way in which that is invested, helps us do this. So I thank you for that. Bishop-elect Woos did a great job, obviously, doing a history lesson, so I don't have much more to say about that. Father Sanson, of course, did an absolutely wonderful job today in providing us with his homily, and I'm very appreciative of your words, but also, again, your continued presence and your witness to our community, not only for the past 20 years, but also all these years where you've continued to be a part of our parish's life. It is pretty interesting to note how much we stand as part of a history, given the fact that the first record of any Catholics in Strongsville was back in the year 1840. That's 182 years ago. The bishop of then the Diocese of Cincinnati was traveling back from Cleveland to Cincinnati, stopped here to visit two Catholic families. After he was finished meeting those two Catholic families, a horde of German farmers from Liverpool met him to take them on to their community. We know Liverpool now as Valley City. And so they went to visit the forerunners of what we now know as St. Martin's in Valley City. Then by the time, as Father Sanson said, we had 170 parish families by the time of the foundation of our parish in 1946, and then today we have about 2,600, 26, as a matter of fact, is my last count on Friday. Before I go on further, I just want to offer a couple of brief thank yous. Bishop-elect Woos, it's certainly been a pleasure to have you with us. As I joked at the beginning of Mass, if you don't like what you got, it's his fault, mainly because he was my formation advisor for my 5 years of graduate school. And in that time, developed certainly a friendship with him as well, but also one of his brothers. You may know this story. There are 7 Woos boys, 3 of which are priests of the Diocese of Cleveland, one of which is currently an aspirant looking for the possibility of entering the diaconate program. And his brother David, who is the pastor of Divine Word in Kirtland, was one of my inspirations, along with Father Bob Craig and Father Frank LaRocca of happy memory, for becoming a priest. And so to continue to have that interaction with them has been a real source of blessing. One of the funny things, though, I will say this, is I've learned in my time that, and I'm sure Bishop-elect Woos will tell you this, that if anybody from Washington, D.C. calls you and asks if you are able to talk, the answer is no. No. But all joking aside, you might have noticed we were talking about this in the section beforehand, about a week after he found out that he was going to be named the next auxiliary bishop of Cleveland, he was with Bishop Malesic at the diaconate ordination, and in between things, I'm told he was handed a Ziploc bag with that zacchetto and that pectoral cross as a gift. And Bishop Malesic told him, here, put this in your pocket before anybody sees it. But what he's wearing certainly is a gift from our own bishop to him as he begins his episcopal ministry as an auxiliary bishop here in Cleveland. In a special way, too, I thank the civic officials who are here today. Our mayor is here. I thank the men and women of our Strongsville Police Department, as well as our fire department. Many of you know that one of my greatest blessings is to be the police and fire chaplain. Beyond just being your pastor, we have some great men and women who serve us in our safety forces that would do anything for us. And we thank them for their work. Particularly for me, and especially with all these health things, I've gotten to know the crew of Station 3 very well, and particularly Medic 3. And one of the best blessings, I said this at the dinner, was one of those nights when things weren't going so well. One of the guys said, "Father, we got you." And that was a real source of blessing. And I know that those men and women, our firefighters, our police officers, would do that for any one of us. Also, Police Chief Mark Fender is here, so we thank you for your presence. As well, Chief Councilman Kaminsky is here today, obviously one of our parishioners, but we thank you for being here with us as well. Our 75th anniversary committee members, they worked very hard. We accomplished all of this stuff with one meeting. Why? COVID, and COVID, cancer, COVID, you name it. It was a lot of things, but we got all of this done. I also thank our former staff members, sisters, deacons, priests, and seminarians who have been here as a part of our community over these 75 years. Father Sanson mentioned there have been 6 pastors, 31 parochial vicars, I believe it's 43 religious women who have served our community or our school, as well as 5 deacons. If you are a staff member, a former staff member, or a current staff member, if you could please stand. Current, past, or present staff members, let's give them a round of applause. We certainly thank you for being with us this afternoon. To you who are relatives and friends of us who call St. Joseph home, we thank you as well. We thank you for your support, because what we do here is a reflection in many ways of the support that we receive from out of here. And so I thank you for that. I also would be remiss if I don't take the opportunity to thank very quickly all of the parishioners who have gone before us. In my own way, I can think of many people who are not here anymore, whose funerals I've celebrated, whose lives have touched me, and I think in some ways I've touched their lives. And we know that they gave a lot to make our community what it is. And so as we celebrate today, we thank them for their witness, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. I doubt when Father McGraw began his ministry almost, as we said, 76 years ago, coming up this Thursday with our first Mass on June 30th, that he could really have imagined what St. Joseph Parish would entail. Recently, we got a pew back from the original church. If you go in this bell tower hallway, there's actually a pew from the original church that's kind of been floating around the parish that made its way back. Stop over there sometime, sit on it. I can't help but think, and especially as Father Sanson was saying in his homily, that first Christmas Eve Mass, as that condensation was raining down upon their heads, what were they praying about? What are we praying about? And how do we stay connected in that? I encourage you after Mass to join us in the Holy Family Center immediately following Mass, where we have a very heavy hors d'oeuvres reception prepared for you all. There are several carving stations there. There is drinks, desserts, all that good stuff. So please stop back there. In the center of the room, you're going to notice a table. The city, Mayor Persiak, as well as Tom Patton, our state representative, presented us with an award. Each of them gave us an award back at our big dinner. It is on display there. It's surrounded by a bunch of commemorative booklets, as well as prayer cards. Those are yours to take. We hope that you'll take them, pray that prayer, but also have the opportunity to look at some of our parish history. Also, the carving stations, because we're still dealing with COVID, you'll notice official commemorative St. Joseph 75 years anniversary hand sanitizers. Feel free to take those as well. Also, we have some wine glasses that are available for purchase in the gathering area during the reception. That's simply a token and a reminder of our celebration. Over the course of my life, I've heard it said before that in the celebration of the Eucharist, heaven meets earth. And so here we are, united as brothers and sisters in our faith, not only united with us who are present here, but those who have gone before us, to provide us with the community that we have. We also somehow gather with those that only God can imagine in the future. Our sisters and brothers who have yet to receive the gift of life, but will one day join us. And so I really hope that as we have benefited from what we have been given, that you will join me in pledging to continue what began in 1946, so that all who will come after us will truly have the blessings and the gifts that we have had. I hope that we, with Jesus' divine assistance and that of our patron St. Joseph, may continue to do the best so that we can give them the best. I've said it before, and you might think it's trite, but it's not. When you could easily be in other parishes or in other places, I thank you for choosing to be a part of our community. I hope that you will stay along for the ride. That ride immediately means a change in our Mass schedule next week. So just as a reminder, Saturday Mass will remain at 4:30. Sunday Masses are now 8 o'clock and 10:30. Jokingly, somebody told me this is the funeral for the noon Mass. Yeah, pretty much. So if you come next week at noon, you'll be part of a baptism. So my friends, I do really hope that you'll join us for the reception this afternoon, that you will stay along for the ride, and I hope that God will continue to bless our community, each one of us, and all those that we love.